What's cooking, Juventus fans? Welcome back to your old lady's favorite YouTube channel. Here we sit today, again, passing the midway point of the month of January, passing the Mercado midway point of what Juventus can do to really bolster two things that are really important: the striker room and, of course, the midfield. But we have no answers yet. We have some more hypotheses that will be popped up, but stick with us. We'll fill you in on what Juventus could do in the coming weeks. Ciao ragazzi, welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone. My name is Justin Sofro. Today is January 17th, 2022. It is a Monday. It's the start of the week, start of the business week as it is for some of these guys. Hopefully Juventus is getting their business down to go out there and try to pursue somebody to help bolster this Juventus front, either in the attack or in the midfield as well. There's a lot of news stories we have to cover, so we'll get through that really quickly. But before we do that, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos and all that we have here. Let's just go ahead and jump into it, guys. So the very first news story of the day is, of course, regarding Archer. We talked about it a bit yesterday, but Mirko Di Natale had some comments to make, saying that in these hours between today and tomorrow, there will be a contact between Juventus and Arsenal to talk about Archer. The player has already endorsed his transfer to London, but Juve are not yet convinced to sell him without an option to buy. So things are definitely heating up when it comes to Arsenal and their interest in their Archer. They're very serious about him, but as it stands right now, Juventus, again, we talk about this each and every day. When it comes to this, Juventus is going to need somebody to replace him, to be able to sell him, to let him go anywhere else. I talked about it before, where my current belief is that the strongest Juventus midfield, at least if you're doing, say, a 4-3-3 or something of that sort, is utilizing a Weston McKennie, Manuel Locatelli, and Archer Melo there as well. Those three guys, to me, are the strongest that we have right now, especially when you look at the likes of Bentancur, Rabiot, and Ramsey that you have out there to put them in support. I think right now, especially unless Bentancur can really become the Bentancur that he was against the last match throughout the rest of the season, highly unlikely, my personal opinion. But as it stands right now, it's really risky to try to let Archer go in this situation without a replacement. But if we're talking about a replacement, who can we go look at that Juventus is trying to get? Well, here's a long one, so bear with me on this. But Mirko Di Natale is talking about the Archer dream replacement. And who is that Archer dream replacement? We've talked about him enough on the channel right now. And that would be that Bruno Guimaraes. Am I saying that right? Guimaraes? Guimaraes? Anyway, I'm terrible. I've avoided saying it for this long, but here I am saying the name. Cut me some slack. All right, let's just go ahead and get to the actual news story about when it comes to it. The first name chosen by the management to eventually replace Archer's is, of course, Bruno. Leon at the moment have not opened to the possibility of a temporary transfer. It is a difficult operation for January for Juventus, but it might not be completely impossible. If Leon, in fact, were to accept the 35 to 40 million euro loan with an obligation, the parties have been in constant contact with for a few weeks now to try and find an agreement. Bruno would have a good chance of moving to Juve only in case Juve would be able to sell one of their players with about the same formula and at the same price. Difficult as is reiterated, but not completely impossible. So what they're talking about here is obviously the first story of the day would be that if Juventus can end up selling Archer on the same kind of plan, same kind of structure for about the same price, then it would work out. They could easily trade over for Guimaraes. I'm hoping that's right. I'm hoping I'm saying it right. But trade it over for Bruno, for my guy Bruno. You know what I'm saying? They could trade over for my guy Bruno if they have about an equal arrangement with Arsenal for Archer. So that'd be an interesting situation to look after, and I think that would be definitely one that would be beneficial for Juventus in the future. Let me know your thoughts. Do you like this player? Do you think he'd be good for Juventus? Do you think Juventus should hold off a little bit when you're looking at bolstering the midfield there with that option? All right. Next story up, though, is one, of course, I feel like it's just tailor-made for me. And it's going to make me get my hopes up, but also to be depressed. And I know what's going to happen. So I'm not going to tease it too much, but let's just go ahead and get into it. Marco Conterio is over here commenting, saying that Juventus are again going for an Italian player, and it, of course, is the guy. It's him. It's him. Juventus is also thinking about the future. For the summer, the hypothesis is to go for Nicolo. Zaniolo is there. Oh, Maron. This is the one thing that is killing me because I have to try to talk about this subject as an unless I can. We do the bias talk. I am not an unbiased commentator. That's what we do here. This is by the fans for the fans. We have our opinions. My opinions may not always be right. Nicolo Zaniolo is my great white buffalo. He's my great white buffalo. He's the one that got away, the one that I want more than anything, the one that I would do whatever to get to come to Juventus. This is him. Get it done. I don't care. But here's the thing. Go. And that's my opinion. It'll be my opinion forever. I don't care if he loses a third ACL. I would still let him. I would still have him come to Juventus because I think he is that good of a player. I think his talent is that good. I think he's that much of a brick bleep house. Is the one way I can really say. He is a man among boys. A lot of the time, similar to why I'm so big on players like Vlahovic, guys like that. This is a guy out there who I think can really do a lot for Juventus, and he also is a Juventini since childhood. There's posts from him being a kid. He was a Juventus fan before he ended up at Roma and all the stuff that Inter and all the stuff that went along with that. But the real me, the part of me that lives in reality, understands that this more than likely will never happen. It's not going to happen. It's just one of those names that pops out there. Whether Roma would even be interested in selling him, let alone to Juve, remains to be seen. He's had some stuff in the past, issues that popped up. And Juve's always been there with interest. But as it stands, though, right now, I don't know if they'd even be interested to sell. But also goes the big bugaboo, the one I talked about that I don't care about when it comes to him, but I do care about, because Juventus cannot end up dealing with another injury situation like this. What are we going to have Chiesa and him sharing one ACL? I think it was a joke that my boy Julian made. And I get it. I understand it. You don't want another injured player. I want to see how long and how well he really has played recently. I don't know if this is even a serious option for the winter mercado that he could come in. If it is, hell yeah, sign me up. But at the same time, maybe if it's a summer option, I'd like to see what happens with him throughout the rest of the season if he remains healthy. Because I understand it's rare, but there are some guys who he did have that back-to-back tear of both ACLs. Unfortunate, but can he maintain through this and be a top-tier player again? We'll see. As you know, it's hard for me to shake it. This is the kid that I want more than anything to play at Juventus, and I get why people would have their reservations about it, and I understand why you may be anti it, but that's just my personal opinion. I would love to see it happen, but I don't think it will. Anyway, let's continue on. All right. Tudo Sport is over here talking about another striker option for Juventus, and that would be that of Asmun, saying that the contacts between Juve and Zenit are constant and have continued in the last hours. Zenit have asked for $5 million for Asmun, but Juventus would like to pay the compensation in the form of bonuses linked to the results of the team and the player. The definitive okay could arrive with $1 million immediately and $2 million linked to bonuses during the second part of the season. In case of a stop to the negotiation, Juve will look for a last-minute alternative on loan like Martial, Depay, and, of course, Gomez. So those are some interesting little options that we're looking at. To me, I feel like if you can get him, he'd be a solid player. For cheap, this I feel like it couldn't really work out a little bit even better for Juventus. If you can get him for cheap, and then you have Arriva Bene and Cherubini over here working these kind of deals, nickeling and diming like they did for Caio Jorge, and they were able to get him for cheap as well. So that would work out pretty beneficial for Juventus in this situation. We'll see how it works out, though. If not, what's the option that they're going to be looking at? Well, let's move it on to the next one, which of course we talked about, which was Martial. Basically, Fabrizio Romano is reporting saying that Anthony Martial wants to leave, but he's still not interested in any loan move to join an English club. Newcastle and Tottenham approaches have been turned down. Barcelona, Sevilla, and Juventus are three options for him to leave in January, but Man United are asking for full salary covered plus a loan fee. So we'll see how open Juventus would be to paying these options on top of the other financial strain that they're dealing with currently. It may be an option that they're open to, but I think right now the topic of Azmoun is the main one before they were to move on to that one. And then finally, we got to talk about the Dybala situation again. It's ongoing for months and months and months and months. Corriere della Sera is saying that after the agreement reached in October with Dybala's agents in December, his agent, sorry, I went a little bit tongue tied there. But in December, Dybala's agent raised the bar on image rights. The management, being nervous, postponed everything to February, March, not signing. However, it is not being considered. Not signing, however, is not being considered by the parties at this time. So, in case I was a little bit too tongue tied when I was reading that, what it's saying is, in essence, is that right now both parties are pretty committed to getting Dybala renewed, to signing with Juventus, to remaining with Juventus for the immediate future. But at the same time, they want a little bit of the chili cheese in that moment when it comes to the image rights there for Dybala. So we'll see how it plans out. I know a lot of people aren't happy about some of these movements being made either by Dybala or by the club. Whatever's going on there, we'll continue to monitor that situation, and hopefully he will remain a member of Juventus, because right now I don't think you can. I understand there's people that don't agree with me, but at this point, I don't think you can really risk losing a guy of his quality right now, given the mercado and the financial situation for Juventus. All right, guys, that's all that we really have for you today regarding all the news that we have regarding Juventus. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you think about the Archer situation, the Bruno situation as well? And then let me know what your thoughts are on my dream of Zaniolo. Are you going to crap on it? I'm sure you will. And then also, what do you think about would you take Azmoun or would you take Martial instead? What are your options there as well? And if you want to complain about Dybala some more, feel free to do that as well. We appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. Make sure you hit that like button, smash the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and also hit that bell icon to stay notified for all our latest videos. Also, make sure you follow us on our social media. You can follow Bianconeri Zone at Bianconeri Zone on basically every format that's out there: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. And also, you can follow me if you feel the need to at Justin Sofro as well. We'll see you next time. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri.